everyone. It's that special time of the year again, Valentine's Day.
That was last week.
You can shut your goddamn mouth. Today we're celebrating this ancient tradition of love and happiness.
It was invented by Geoffrey Chaucer.
Shut your goddamn mouth. We're celebrating it with a movie that is nothing but pure romance.
This really isn't a romance.
Shut. I will give you that.
This really isn't a romance.
Dark Side of the Sun.
Dark Side of the Sun.
The Sun.
Which is actually, curious enough, right beyond the Black Rainbow. Okay, this movie, we found it on Netflix, and it actually has a bit of history to it. This movie was made as a joint production between Yugoslavia and the U.S. during 1988, so this is a Cold War collaboration. So it's a fuck up, like the Red Tent and whatnot. It's just a mesh of ideas that kind of destroy everything. But because of the Croatian War, it was several parts of the movie were lost, and you weren't able to get it. It wasn't officially released in theaters until 1997. And it stars Brad Pitt.
Whoa, hold on. The Brad Pitt.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, hold on. 1997. He would have just come off of 12 Monkeys.
Yep.
He got Oscar noms for that.
Yeah.
And he starred in this just after that. As far as the public knew, he was just now showing up in this movie.
As far as the public knows, when it comes down to actually chronological order, yes.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Brad. I am so sorry. This is... oh, God.
This movie is a little weird because not only is the premise weird, but also at the same time, there's not a whole lot of material to work with.
Let me go over the premise. I'm going to hit bare bones here because you don't need to know the whole plot. We'll go over little bits, but we don't need to know the whole plot.
It's like a David Lynch movie. The parts are even more mysterious than the whole.
So, Rick is a man, boy, teen? I don't know. He's some age.
It's the Gimp from fucking Pulp Fiction.
Wait. So, he has this rare disease. Only like 100 people in the world have it. And it makes it so he is extremely sensitive to sunlight. Mind you, not like burst into flames or sores or whatever the minute that he gets touched by something.
Vampire thing.
Over time, 3 days, he will eventually get all weird looking. So, over his entire life, he's needed to wear full outfits if he ever wanted to go out in the sun. They
had to make it leather.
He chooses full black leather with a black leather mask. Like he said, he's the Gimp from Pulp Fiction.
The only thing he was missing was a zipper over the mouth.
Yeah, and it was very close even without the zipper. But
yeah, it was.
Essentially, through some thing of he meets a girl or he just gets fed up with it.
I don't remember any of the other people in this movie.
Yeah, Frances is the girl.
Yeah, Frances is the character name.
So,
this movie's so forgetful.
Through meeting the girl, he decides that rather than living this boring life in his mask and gloves where no one can ever see him, he wants to feel the sun on him.
It's kind of like the Quasimodo song from Hunchback of Notre Dame. It's like, I want to live one day out there. Exactly. That basically is the whole mantra.
Except it's 3 days, and so he does. And his father,
and he'll die at the end.
His father is working to make him change his mind. I put that in such air quotes
because he doesn't really try.
Yeah. Behind the scenes, he talks to the healer of the town. It's all in Yugoslavia, mind you, but everyone's American, so.
Or at least all the main characters happen to speak perfect English.
So, his father talks to the healer. His father goes and prays to God. His father does all these things, except really sit down and talk to his son and say, hey, I don't really want you to die.
What you're doing right now is kind of stupid.
It's just a little, look.
If we find the cure, then you won't have to worry about not being in the sunlight anymore.
Look, I realize that
the little girlfriend you have will understand. She does understand.
there's this whole thing about how it's the it's I don't think there's a set thing for it. It's like the Spider-Man sort of thing. Like you got the Mary Jane, the main girl, then you got Peter. They obviously got a thing going on, but Mary Jane's not quite into Peter. But when Peter turns into Spider-Man, aka puts on the dark mask and all that, girl seems to like that one. He's pretty cool. He's a pretty hot guy.
It makes the genitalia respond.
Not the best way to romance.
No, but the thing is, like, it's just, and also this romance has less development than Romeo and Juliet. Like, at least Romeo and Juliet was a space of a few days where it was the major conflict is what made the romance seem more plausible. This has absolutely no grounds in reality. They meet at a party once.
To be fair, you're exactly still describing Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah, yeah. The only problem is Romeo and Juliet was well written.
Yeah. We'll see the...
Well, let's just go on to the writing, because we're already talking about the plot.
No, wait, there's one more thing I wanted to say.
The dog.
Oh, God, don't even... No, not the dog. There was... As he said, the parts were more mysterious than the whole. Every scene just had him exploring his life a little bit.
It just compounded the confusion.
It had him... Overall, it had the whole plot of he is enjoying his life, and then he realizes that he is going to die, and then, spoilers, he's going to die. He dies. Of course.
Unnecessarily.
Yeah. Like we said, at any point he could save his life, but we'll get to that probably in the writing section. So, when it comes down to the parts, when it comes down to, like, here's a scene where he's riding his motorbike against some guy who's been challenging him to a race. Okay? Makes sense by itself. And then there's a scene where they're riding around in circles. Okay? Makes sense by itself. And then there's a scene that they're sitting down at dinner with these people and they're having a nice conversation. Okay, makes sense by itself. But these are all put in that order, one right after another. It doesn't make sense altogether.
So in continuity's sake, this movie has unbelievably horrible editing.
It is. I think that's really it.
And I'm not like, and actually it doesn't have horrible editing throughout the movie. It's just piecing each scene together is done poorly. Now again, there's a lot of the movie that was lost during the war, so actually I don't even know how much of the footage was fully recovered. But
it's still an hour 45 minutes. Though.
Yeah, but at the same time, like even if you could add more parts to the movie to try to fill in the gaps, there's too many gaps to fill. I mean, this movie would probably extend by like another 35 minutes or something like that to fill in all the plot holes. And there's no way in fuck that I'm sitting through this movie if it's 35 minutes longer.
Most of the plot holes just revolve around characters' decisions. Why do they do the things they do?
These characters are horribly characterized. They're really horribly put together.
For instance, at the very beginning, the masked guy, Rick, he comes up to Francis and she asks him, why don't you take off your mask? We both came to the conclusion that the entire story could be resolved if he said, I have a rare skin condition that will literally kill me if I take off anything and expose my skin to the sun.
But he just runs away.
No, he's like, no, don't take off my mask.
It's just, yeah, like the entire plot, and also like she obviously understands at the end when they end up making whoopee together. So like, yeah, oh yeah, finally that's one of the last scenes in the movie when Brad Pitt's character actually gets to fuck the girl.
Don't.
It's just ridiculous. I mean, I mean, I will tell you one thing. There are a handful of shots in this movie that are actually really good.
Yeah. There was one on a bridge.
There was one on a bridge that was actually really good. It got rule of thirds and perspective down very well. And actually, the makeup effects on Brad Pitt at the very end of the movie to show the effects of the sun poisoning and all that jazz was actually pretty good.
I have to say it was very bad at the beginning because, I mean, this guy's been in, like, never exposed to the sun in his entire life. So what they do is just cake on some powder and, hey, look, he's pale. He's
perfect haircut.
He's Edward Cullen. That's exactly what they were going for.
No,
But then, and he can't go in sunlight, so it actually is getting a lot. But, no, towards the, I don't know, I guess the very, very end, he starts noticing little sores on him from the sun.
Yeah, little cysts.
Little things. And they just look like slash marks, essentially, just little cuts. And
or little bruises, basically, yeah.
And it's like, okay, so the sun is cutting you. But then at the very end, he goes to visit his mom, who's in bed because she's loony or catatonic or something.
She's something. Some brand of crazy.
And you see a close-up of how his skin, it's like, imagine the worst sunburn possible and you're just starting to peel.
But peel like
your skin.
Second-degree burn type peel.
It's like terrible. And they really got across that this man is burning. Like, 100% just...
I think one of the major problems with the movie is that they didn't know who to focus on. Because you've got the girl, you got Francis, you've got Rick, and then you also got the dad. And, I don't even know his name. But, you have these three different people. Now, multiple storylines can work, and with an ensemble piece like this, usually that is a good way of going about taking care of the story. But the problem is with this, they don't give enough detail to a single person. They try to spread everything out, and evenly distributing the focus is a good thing when it comes down to an ensemble cast. However, the characters are not nearly developed for us to even care. And the scenes are so hastily... It seems that they were hastily put together, but I guess it was just because there wasn't a lot of scope. Like, there was so many scenes at the bar that could have been cut. They were not necessary. And then also you have the actors.
Okay, hold on. While we're still on writing, this kind of just blends it right in there. There was a guy. There was one guy. Matt didn't care that much. He ticked me off. There was one guy. He was an older gentleman who, first time you see him, he takes his cigarettes and he throws them on the ground. And he says, Brad Pitt walks up and like, hey, why are you doing that? He's like, I'm quitting smoking. And he crushes all of his cigarettes on the ground. Mind you, he has like 300 cigarettes.
Yeah, he's got several packs.
He's got a lot. Then later,
anybody who smokes knows that's like throwing away like $20.
Yeah. So then he later on in the movie, there's like this Burning Man festival in Yugoslavia, and he's constantly focused on for a good 2 minutes. Doesn't say a word.
There's also a lot of footage in this movie that looks like it was just documentary footage of the festival. Like, it wasn't part of the movie at all. They just added it in for filler.
Right. And then later on in the movie, he's again outside thing. And he's this time throwing condoms on the ground. Stomping on them. And the guy said, what are you doing? He's like, this is how I quit smoking. I figure it will work for sex. And he crushes all the condoms.
That's a lot of condoms he gets rid of, too.
Again. He has like 3... He buys everything at like BJ's in bulk.
Yeah, just a giant-ass band sitting next to him, just unwrap, throw it to the ground, smush.
But just every once in a while, this guy just like walks into the bar right behind the character.
He's just
pat somebody on the back.
He just sidesteps in frame and then just leaves.
No name, no plot relevance. As far as I can tell, maybe there was some deep underlying meaning, or that was like an author avatar or something. I don't know. But this guy, I don't know who he was, but I'm so interested in him more so than any other character.
His story interests me. Why is he trying to quit fucking that way?
During the Burning Man thing, he has like this fear in his eyes when he's like being focused on. I was like, why?
Why is he afraid? Is he afraid of fire? Is he afraid of giant people? What happened?
I'm really curious about that guy. But then that does go into actors, I guess, a little. Yeah, that didn't really blend as well.
That's like the one American. That's like the one actor who is like focused on for a decent amount that isn't American.
All right, so let's start with Minor and work our way up. So we'll end with Brad there. Frances, the girl, the love interest,
the maid.
The
maid has more screen time, I think, than Frances does.
No.
Or just equal. See, the fact that you're pausing and whatnot, they're close. They're close.
They're close, but at the same time, nothing. She's just in the back. She's like that guy. The maid's like that guy. She's in the background. She's like, your lunch is ready.
That guy.
But okay, so the maid, she didn't seem like she was an actor.
Yeah.
She just seemed like she was there.
Yeah, she just looked like she was like the actual maid. All right, Frances.
No, wait. If we're going that low, I was going to start with I was doing major characters down low, but if we're doing that low, Ed.
Oh, Ed.
Ed. See, now I remember that. Ed was the boyfriend actor of Francis.
He was as useless as a dick on a pope.
Let's see where. Okay, so they just finished a play. They just finished performing a nice little scene for the festival in town.
Which, whatever play this is from, I don't
It was a weird play.
I don't know.
So he's sitting there, and you play Francis in this scene. You only have to do one action. You know what it is. And he's sitting there. He's like, "First class, best in show, best actress, and best in bed." Bitch. That's it.
That's not even dramatizing. That's exactly how he said it too. Bitch. Walk away. It's just.
It was a fun one.
It was like a van of these traveling actors and whatnot, like that are moving from city to city. One, why are these American actors moving from city to city in Europe?
Yugoslavia even.
Yeah, and then it was like, we're going
during the Cold War era.
Yeah, it's like, we're going to Berlin next. I'm like, why are you going to Berlin next? Why? Just fucking no.
Okay. Let's see here. Next up, I guess, would have to be the mom. She was there.
She had enough characterization as a plank of wood.
Yeah, but I don't know. She was there for the emotional bond. Like, she was there. It's like
she was there for what should have been an emotional bond.
She was there. She was sick. Let's have some characters just have an emotional speech with her. Okay, that's it.
Yeah, there's also that whole scene where she was trying to get out of bed and roll herself down, and then she meets the stairs. And then the next time you see her, she's already back in bed. So she just gave up, wheeled back into her room, and just got back into bed.
But the thing is, she seems totally catatonic. Like, she doesn't know anything that's going on around her. And yet somehow she knows, oh, hey, there's a party going on.
There's someone saying happy birthday. I want to know.
Upstairs. Well, guess I better get back in bed.
My mortal enemy.
Well, my husband's coming up. I guess I should act like this. Rock-a-bye, baby.
I'm glad that you don't know what pain is. I don't know what pain is anymore.
Okay. Which then we may as well go into the dad.
All these people are just so underdeveloped.
They are.
And the actors can do what they can with it. I mean, to be honest, the one who played Frances, she wasn't all that great.
No.
The guy who played the dad was competent. Brad was competent because the part is so horribly written.
Yeah.
It's like the character, they're trying to make the character sound poetic and like, you know, like romantic and whatnot, and really it just fails because
like, every single time he's wearing the mask.
Yeah, they just take these chunks of poetry and just have him recite them. Like, I bet that he doesn't understand a single word of what that poetry means.
It's like every single one's talking about like the setting sun or something ending. It's like, yes, we get it. Imagery. You are going to die.
Yes, understandable. Yes.
But it's using like words that I don't think Brad Pitt has ever said since.
Well, I've heard Brad Pitt on commentaries before. He actually is far less intelligent than the characters he usually portrays.
There you go.
Which actually kind of sucks.
But he's still good. He's a good actor.
Hey, I love Brad Pitt as an actor. I think he's actually a very, very talented actor. Just from what I understand, that he's not exactly a very intelligent human being.
All right, so the dad and Francis we still need to cover, and that's it. So, dad. He was good. I mean, this guy was top credited.
If they actually gave him some decent development, he probably would have taken that role and done something special with it.
Right, because remember, this was before Brad Pitt was famous, like, at all. So, this guy, Guy Boyd.
This was before Cool World.
Right.
I mean, like...
he got credited over top of Brad Pitt. He was supposed to be, like, the star power to this movie. And, like I said, my only real qualm with him was he never just talked to his son.
No.
Like, they bonded. They were like, hey, buddy, let's go get a drink in the bar. But never once did they say, son...
I don't want you to die.
Yeah, exactly. That. It was just, what's the word? Confusing. Except not that. A word for confusing. You know what I mean. And then Frances.
She was just there.
She was.
Like, all these characters were just there.
Now, we opened this up by saying this movie was not a romance. Or he said it. I agreed. And the reason we say that was because it's a movie about his short ending of his life. His experiences. What was it? I made several comparisons just because with the son to Odd Life of Timothy Green.
Yeah.
But
even though the guy looks like the character in Durarara.
So I just made a comparison of This guy has a short life, and he wants to fit as much in as possible in that amount of time. The girl was just there because the writers thought, let's see here. He's probably still a virgin. Let's add
a romance factor.
Let's add a romance. Should we make it a competent actor or actress, or should we just pick up the hot chick?
I'll pick up the hot chick.
Pick up the hot chick. Cool.
Yeah,
what else fun?
There's a couple random tit shots in here too.
There's one, but it keeps.
It's not one. It's the same girl in every shot.
She's literally standing.
It was just the one girl. Shots. Yeah, it's just the one girl with the.
Oh, buddy. Wait, Matt.
What?
You're a champion.
All the bad boys want some more